Rock family, welcome to the Rob Brewer Report, coming to you live from the streets of Knoxville.
Damn! Damn, that's the first time we've ever played together. I just want to run and give you a big hug. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the Rob Brewer Report, guys.
Glad to be here, brother.
How's your year been?
Been good.
Been good?
Yeah, but it's busy.
Busy?
So were we planning to do something like that?
We just did it.
Oh, we just did it?
We just did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah, that's beautiful. Do you? I want to talk to you a little bit about your season this year. It's getting to be Halloween now.
Yep.
And I'm super excited about it. And
a lot of stuff going on. Did you get to? I just had a interview with a podcast, local podcast, the Beacon House.
no.
We had so much fun. It was almost an hour interview because there's so much going on right now.
Yeah, I know. This is gonna be an hour too. So, okay. Yeah, we're just gonna chit chat.
Lots going on.
Lots going on. So, tell me about the interview. How'd it go?
Are we starting now? Or are we?
Oh yeah, we're in the moment. We're going.
So it's gonna be edited or?
Yeah, it's gonna be edited.
I'm kind of glad we're
Station broadcast.
Glad that this stopped right now. Thanks for calling. I'm Knox Ghost Stories. How can I help you out today?
This is how he gets his business, guys. I'm just letting you know. The man, his phone never stops ringing. There are so many people excited about the Knoxville Ghost Tours that his phone is like this non-stop. So y'all come out and support this man because it's going to be a fabulous tour. It's going to be a great holiday. Come dressed up in a costume, scare the hell out of the ghosts themselves, you know?
I promise no more interruptions.
That's okay. You're a busy man. You've got a lot of tours you're booking. So it's your season.
It is my season. Well, it's not. I don't own the season. It's just it's the season for the type of work I do, and yeah, a lot of fun.
So let me ask you, what are the highlights of some of the tours you're doing this year? Have you added anything?
Yeah, what's special about this year versus the last ones are my partners. We have some amazing partners. Of course, if you're familiar with our tours downtown Knoxville, we have a very unique setup that you get to actually be the investigator, you get to be the ghost hunter, you get to learn real history and also have a hands-on experience of what it's like to be on a safe paranormal investigation. So this year,
he said safe.
It is. It's important to do a safe one. You don't want to follow Ghost Adventures setup here because they antagonize and stuff, you know. And you know, regardless whether you believe in ghosts or spirits or whatever, I highly suggest to be respectful always. It's just a smart way to do it. So anyhow, this year what's special is we have special partners. One is A Nightmare on the Tracks, which is at the historic Southern Railway Station. This particular event gives us full access to the station itself and the cars, and of course it has connections to one of the most tragic and traumatic train disasters in American history.
Really?
And, oh yeah.
We had L&N?
Not L&N, no, this is historic Southern Railway Station. So that's over there by Old City.
Old City.
Yep, and it connects to the Newmarket train disaster.
Wow.
Don't want to go too much into it because I want you guys to make sure you visit. We give you the history lesson, we give you the Ghost Hunting 101, and then we explain how does this station in downtown Knoxville have a bit of that haunted history, have reasons to be potentially haunted, and man, we've got some
I'm a believer in the hauntedness because I remember when we were down at Regis Square.
I still tell people about that place.
That was, when that restaurant emptied, I mean, I loved that restaurant. I used to eat there all the time. We had warm atmosphere, you know, and then as soon as the restaurant closed, it just was like heavy, cold, dark inside that establishment. And I've never seen anything like it. It's like every ghost in Knoxville said, "Party time at Regis Square."
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, this guy here walked around the building fully lit up with what, battery-operated light chains around your neck.
Yeah,
you look like
them off, man.
Here I'm walking through the dark, completely dark, completely, without any lights and stuff, and this guy here is lit up like a Christmas tree walking through there because he's so scared.
It was terrifying.
Look at his face. You can tell it was obviously terrifying for him. But notice, everyone, this is a great opportunity to talk about this. What is it that makes paranormal investigation and ghost hunting on the scary side versus it's the fear?
Yeah, and the fear is real. I mean, when you feel those goosebumps pop up, when you know there's something there, and even it may be friendly, it could be your mom, who knows who it is because you can't see it. It's that covers being pulled off your body in the middle of the night when you're sleeping, kind of fearful. You know what I'm saying? You get that goosebumps up and down your arms. You can't even.
So you can see this guy here, his nervous aspects. He's just talking about it. You see, he's reliving the traumatic experience.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, we're in October. Why is it that more spirits are active at this time during the year?
I don't know, because we're more aware.
It's because the fear. It's like going fishing and spraying that stuff on the lure that kind of makes the fish go crazy to draw them to your lure.
Oh, yeah.
So fear on us draws the activity to us.
Interesting.
So of course, I
so
was walking.
So do ghosts feed off fear? Is that what we're saying?
Oh
here?
my gosh, they love it. They
I wonder
love
what it is.
It's well, think about it. Spirits, low vibration.
Right.
They're here because of unfinished business, which is a low vibration. Fear falls into the low vibration.
Yeah.
So therefore, they
can see it better.
They can recognize it because of the low vibration on them. And on top of it, once they know that we are aware that they're around, they're going to make themselves more known. They're going to try to get under your skin. They're going to try to bully you because they're bullying you. They like bullying you.
Now, I was over at Gray Cemetery
early
in the morning one day.
All right.
I was working at the Tennessee Theater. We were setting up for like Alison Krauss or something. I was out there early. And
Alison Krauss went into the graveyard?
No. Alison Krauss was at the Tennessee Theater. I was working on the crew setting up the stage and lighting and all that stuff. But I got there early. Mm-hmm. And it was still a little dark outside. And so I was over at the Gray Cemetery, over by the Presbyterian Church.
Very familiar with it.
And I looked at the names on the billboard they have out there. They have all the names because you can't read the markers anymore.
All right.
And there was like the Campbells and all these different personalities that were like close to Knoxville's like deepest history. Mm-hmm. So, what is the most famous ghost in Knoxville that's ever approached you or that you feel like you've met?
Personally met versus famous in general for the city?
Yeah.
Well, first thing is if you go to my website, hauntedknoxville.net, you're going to see a really cool cartoon image of 3 heads, ghostly heads. They look kind of skeleton-y. And those 3 heads represent 3 of the city's most recognized, traumatic people that died or whatever in the past. Huh. One is William Sanders, who died right before the big battle of Fort Sanders.
Oh, yeah.
They buried him behind the backs of the soldiers and behind the backs of the city by candlelight in the middle of the night. So that's kind of disrespectful. Could there be unfinished business with him? Yeah. Another one is Clarence Bunch. Clarence Bunch was a 1930s gangster, young kid, 20-something year old, and yeah, he would be shooting up tires, moving moonshine, robbing, all this kind of stuff.
Sounds like Knoxville's history.
Heck yeah, driving cars off the cliff just because he wanted to. And then, of course, the most recognized one is Kid Curry, member of the Wild Bunch, Butch and Sundance.
Now, I'm aware of Kid Curry.
Yeah,
Tell us more.
Yeah, he came through Knoxville early 1900s, just after robbing the big train that Butch and Sundance were well known for, with all this money. But why did he come to Knoxville?
Spend it?
Oh gosh.
Is it hidden somewhere?
Many people
Is the money hidden in Knoxville somewhere?
Many people don't know this history of Knoxville. Knoxville was dangerous. It was one of the most dangerous cities
Well, you
in
see the
America.
rock down by the river, right?
Oh yeah.
It says, well, the devil came here to make a home.
Well, you know what's interesting is that kind of gives me chills. Because,
yeah, every time I mention that dude's name, I get chills. But
we
yeah.
learn from our history, and sometimes our history will let us know this little hidden agenda, this hidden behind the scenes thing about the city. And one of the things that, with any city, you go to Atlanta, New Orleans, St. Augustine, all this kind of stuff, the cities are amazing, great for tourists, great place to visit, but they have a traumatic past.
Yeah.
You know, and no matter what you do, you can't hide it. And certain little key things are going to remind us that Knoxville was one of the most dangerous cities in America.
Wow. It was dangerous in the 80s.
Well, I can say the tourism department has done an amazing job with beautifying the city and really bringing the city where it needs to be. It needs to be forefront. But what I do is I remind everyone that this city has a history, a traumatic past to it, that it makes it fascinating and interesting, and you can even interact with it. Yeah.
I think that was a ghost.
Was that a ghost?
I think it was.
Yeah, I would have to bring my equipment, scientific test it, and all this before I automatically assume that, right? We need to stay skeptical.
Okay. I'm not skeptical. I'm a believer. I mean, full straight on, man. I've had the experience.
But skepticism is healthy.
Is it?
Oh, 100%.
Even
I
you
love
know?
skepticism because we're always going to test it. We're always going to double check to make sure that this is what happened.
Huh.
I've had experiences, so I am a believer, but
Yeah.
I'm also a skeptic.
Okay, so a believing skeptic, that's an interesting mix.
It's a great mix. It's great. It's a perfect location. I think that's what makes me a professional investigator.
Right. So describe some of the equipment that you use when you share with people.
Well, the basis of paranormal investigation is understanding why are we investigating, what are the spirits. The spirits are energy. That's it. They're just energy. So with energy, there's different forms of energy. I'm sure we've all experienced a location that something has moved inside the house on us. Well, what type of energy is being used there? Kinetic. How about cold spots? I know I had a lot of cold spot issues when I was living down in Florida when I had my first experience. Well, what kind of energy is being used there? Thermal. So basically, the reason why spirits make themselves known to us is because they're using the energy that they are in different means to let us know that they're present.
Oh.
So the tools I have are all kinds of tools. We got EMF detectors, temperature gauges, static devices, devices that can recognize energy through the airwaves. So we have something called a spirit box, and we can actually hear responses to our.
You can actually hear them talk.
Oh my gosh, the Nightmare on the Tracks, one of the best EVPs, which stands for Electronic Voice Phenomenon, happened on the train tracks in one of the cars. One of my investigators was saying out loud, how long have you been here? This has been recorded. It's on our Facebook page, so make sure you check it out. Shh, 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 shh. 26 years was the answer. And that's how it sounded. So it sweeps through the stations, and you basically ask a question and listen for a response. That way we know the difference between radio and what is real paranormal activity.
Wow.
So literally 26 years, and of course the next thing you hear is people kind of, holy, you can know what I'm talking about, family oriented. But the thing is that night,
I've already cursed on the show, so it's already been busted out from the family.
Talk about paying back. Talk about paying back, and that's what this is all about. One night, when I was doing the train station event, one of the employees went to me and says, I would love to do the event. Is there a way I can get on the event? I says, you know what? It is a paid event. Yes, I can get you on. Can you do me a favor? And the favor was, can you videotape while you're walking around? She's the one that caught the amazing 26 years.
I hear that ghost again.
Is it a ghost of Christmas past?
I don't know.
Or is that too early? No, the stores, it's not too early for the stores by any means. But yes, definitely highly suggest that you do check out our Facebook page in our website, of course, because that has our tickets and all this. But we've been allowing the last 6 months for our participants to record evidence because they're the ones investigating. This is not about watching me do it or my team do it. This is about having the opportunity to investigate and you get the evidence. And we actually get the evidence.
There's that ghost. Just getting a little nervous in here hanging out with you, Jay.
Yeah.
You're attracting a whole lot of activity here, buddy. Just being around you, get me on a little willy side. Yeah. I feel it.
Do y'all believe that?
You should. Okay, so the train tour is. I'm trying to get the absolute fix on train because I've got 2 locations locked in my brain. Down in the old city, I don't remember a train being down in the old city.
So if you
except
go
for the train
over Summit Hill on Gay Street, and you go over that little bridge that goes over the tracks,
Gotcha.
right in front of Regas,
Right.
that's a train station on the right.
Oh, the train station where Blue Slip Winery is.
That's correct. They're my partners.
That's right. Cool.
Yeah, and then of course the other event is brand new. It's called the Great Fire Investigation. This is our highest level event. Maple Hall, which is the bowling alley on Gay Street, amazing place. If you ever visited it, it's amazing. Wonderfully set up.
Yeah, I've been down there with all the cool TVs and the bowling room. Yeah, it's cool.
Oh, it's wonderful. Well, this is what's weird. They contacted me and reached out to me because multiple employees were having paranormal encounters and they wanted me to investigate. So I was like, I responded saying, I have been dying to investigate the location where the $1 million fire happened in 1897.
Was that the location?
That was the location. It's right on the edge.
Why do they call it the $1 million fire?
That was weird because in the news on the day after the event, they went and publicized as the $1 million fire, which I find it kind of intriguing how quickly they came up with that number so close to the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Was
was.
that how much they wanted back from the building?
Well, I can say when you go on the event, you go through the Ghost Hunting 101, but I go through a real strong history lesson about the $1 million fire so that you have names and court cases and what's going on. And we can't change the fact and we can't really fight the question, but there are a lot of questionable circumstances to it. Things that could have been arson, could the city have profited off of a fire, were more people lost in the fire, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wow. People were killed in the fire.
Oh, yes. It's one of the greatest fires in Tennessee history.
Oh, I know nothing.
And it was right after Chattanooga had a massive fire. Coincidentally?
Interesting. One of the same polecats.
So we do the investigation.
Yeah.
The general manager, who is amazing, Ryan, he was on the investigation, and we just hit it off. And he saw what I was about. I was about a safe investigation, and how fun it can be, and all this kind of stuff. And I went to him, I said, how about creating the first ever public event at this location?
No, that would be, okay, cool. Tell me
But
more.
this is crazy. On the investigation that we did with employees and all this,
Yes.
we're doing a spirit session right around 3 o'clock.
Okay.
Ryan himself said, how many lost their lives in the Great Fire? The spirit box said 40. The confirmed for the fire is 3 to 5.
Whoa.
So that is also for you to be able to watch on our Facebook page too. You can actually hear the response on the spirit box. So it's truly, truly amazing the special locations that we're investigating. Of course, if you follow me, you know that I've got an award-winning documentary at Ramsey House. So we've also investigated the Ramsey House back in the day. And we're able to get
I remember we were hanging out when you did that. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were able to get a response from a child on the digital recorder with that too. So the great thing is that we are historic landmarks are opening up to us. They're wanting to work with us. They're seeing what we're about, what our legacy is. We are the first organization to truly put Knoxville on the paranormal map across the country. Did you know that Ghost Hunters magazine actually did a 4-page feature a couple years ago on my tours? They called us the hidden gem of Haunted America.
The hidden gem of Haunted America.
In Ghost Hunters official magazine.
Wow. I want a signed copy from you.
It cast ya.
Ah, dang it. Figure it out.
Yeah. So yeah, lots of things, lots of really great things going on. Did you know I'm going to be in a movie?
No.
Yeah, I was already on Travel Channel. You know, it was Paranormal Paparazzi, and I got the award-winning documentary Rampant
I
House.
remember you had the big truck. I mean, the big super van.
Yeah, exactly. I called it my tour bus.
Your tour bus, yeah.
But yeah, I was asked by a producer and a good friend of mine, actually connected to the Travel Channel's show that I did. They're doing a movie called oh golly, I'm having a senior moment.
It's okay. We got plenty of time for our senior.
It's called Inducted, and it's going to be coming out in 2019. And basically what the movie is about is a drama, a docudrama, about the first ever UFO case that made the historical society the first historical event, real event in Massachusetts.
Oh wow, what is the story? I'm not familiar with that.
Well, you'll have to follow much more clearly with Tom Reed and what he does in the story, because I don't want to butcher it by any means. But it was multi-generational abduction cases that the city, so many people in the city recognized and saw what was going on, that it made the papers and made all this. So there.
Our city?
No, Massachusetts.
Okay. I don't know, for some reason, I heard you say Massachusetts, and for some reason I just went to our city. For some reason.
Well, Oak Ridge back in the day had some UFO stuff going on back then, yeah.
Oh, really?
But it's not unusual with, you know, air bases and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And different kind of stuff.
Well, it makes you wonder if it's experimental aircraft and stuff like that.
It could be potentially that, but there's also a lot of cases that you can't help but question the truth and the merit behind there being extraterrestrial life out there, you know?
Well, I mean, how arrogant of us to think otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, we believe in angels. We talk to God, you know, so is God an alien? Technically, he's inside of us. You know, there's all these like gray areas when it comes to some alien talk, you know.
And that's when you say all the above. Everything. It's all connected.
All of the above. If you're not born on Earth, you're probably an alien.
So if we visit the moon and say that there were some aliens there, would we be aliens?
I don't know. Is moon part of our annexation of Earth?
I don't know.
See, the moon.
And what would you be
moon
considered?
May be like an annexation of some other planet in their mind.
Would you be a Moonican?
A Moonican.
If you were from the moon, would you be a Moonican?
Makes sense.
Or Saturn alien?
You know, we got someone that's traveling to the moon. I think he's Chinese, Asian. He's an Asian fellow.
Mm-hmm.
And he's heading out there. He's part of the space program, first civilian space kind of thing. I was reading about that. And so, what if somebody went up there and had a child on the spaceship while landing? Would it be technically?
It'd be a Moonian.
A Moonian.
Would be.
It would be an Earthling.
It would not be an Earthling.
A Moonian. Space kid.
Crazy things here on the Rob Roy report.
Well, that's what we talk about. We talk about everything in the Rob Roy report.
But yeah, so I'm super excited. We're going to be starting to film very soon. He went to me and says, I have the perfect role for you. He wants me to be the historical director that was involved with actually proving the case in Massachusetts. So I asked him, I said, is that a significant role? And so he basically said, you tell me.
That sounds like the lead role.
No, it's not a lead role. I don't think I can handle a lead role by any means. I'm just myself, have a good time, and you know, and just like the movie Yes Man, you got to say yes to everything. You know, almost everything. Almost everything.
That'll get you in trouble if you're not careful.
Exactly, that can get you in trouble. But the truth is, a lot of cool stuff going with that.
No, are they going to shoot? Where are they actually going to shoot?
They're shooting in Miami, Knoxville, some stuff I think in Massachusetts and stuff. So all over.
Oh wow, when's it start?
Probably within a month.
Wow, I was lucky to get you.
Yes.
Fist bump on that.
Yes. It'll be interesting. It'll be truly interesting. All I can do is be myself and take 1, take 20, take 100.
Well, I'm excited. I can't wait to see the final footage of the movie and everything. When's it in 2019? Right?
2019, I believe, if I heard correctly, it's the 50-year anniversary of the incident.
Oh wow! So it's going to air on the film circuit. Where is it going to?
Well, you can look up IMDb and look up inducted, and you can find it. You can actually see my name already listed as one of the featured artists. I guess
that is so cool, Day.
Yeah,
I'm so proud of you.
Aww.
You've been doing so good. Look at you,
yes.
Breaking out.
And then, of course, for those of you who saw us jamming piano and violin, I teach violin as well. So this is the side of me that a lot of people don't get to see.
This is the side I want people to get to see, because your violin playing is special. It's good.
Well, with that being said, I am opening up lessons in North Knoxville. So I teach at West Knoxville.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
opening up a location. I have my own office space.
Really?
My first ever. I'm going to have my own location, so I have my ghost tours officially.
Oh, cool. Where's your office going to be? I mean,
It's off
St. Mariel.
It's off of Callahan.
Off of Callahan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to come back. I want to learn the violin.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I remember my purple violins that I had that got lost at Regis somewhere. Somewhere.
You think the spirits took it?
I think they did. I think they swallowed.
Well, you know what I think is if you lose something and someone stole it, that maybe they needed it or they needed it more than you. Maybe.
Well, I wasn't playing it, so I was trying.
Maybe they were saving the world from a lot of screeches.
I played it a couple times. Might have been it. They're like, yeah, get that away from that guy. He doesn't know how to play. Yeah, I'll give it another one. Doesn't have that hard to get.
Nah. And you know a guy who can get him stuff.
So, what are your plans for next year? Anything in the future that you're looking at other than your dynamic moment?
I am going to attempt to travel as much as I possibly can. I got to try to expand what's going on. Oh, next year. How about Oak Ridge? Oak Ridge contacted me. The town's historian, Ray Smith, along with the Historical Society, the Visitor Center, multiple hotels, all got together with me. And they said, what will it take to get your tours in Oak Ridge?
Wow.
What an honor. I mean, literally, I went
That
to
is
everyone.
an honor.
I was like, I'm just blown away. Thank you for the honor of just being pulled into this. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm strategizing a way to create an event out there. It's a sleeping city, and they really want to bring interesting stuff and all that. So I can see why they're reaching out to me and stuff.
So it's, wasn't their moniker the Secret City? So they could have the secret haunted ghost tour.
Well, basically Ray Smith drove me around, which was amazing, for like 3 hours, showed me all different sites because he is the town's historian, and showed me different spots. And I was trying to lay it out in my mind. How am I going to set this up? How will I work it? We would have access to places that no one would have access to.
Exciting.
I believe I will be focusing on obviously the trauma in relations to the atomic bomb that was created there, and the unfinished business that might be hanging around from people who were pulled into that city that were young, didn't know what they were doing, and from what I hear that there were suicides while the Manhattan Project was going on, people finding out what they're doing. I'm sure it killed them inside. It's like, okay, they're recruiting me from high school. They're giving me option either come and work at the base or get thrown out into the enemy lines. Some people were going to choose the one that's safer, and the safer one would be working at a military base in the United States. But once they find out what they're doing, you can only question what's left with that, the remorse the unfinished business.
And I can't imagine working on creating a bomb that destroys the world, you know,
Yeah, it's
and the trauma that that would cause inside my heart, you know, discovering that that's what the focus was.
And of course, the hardest thing is to make sure I present it in a way that is respectful to Oak Ridge and also to those who lost life, because Oak Ridge really is a fairly young city. I think they just had their 75th anniversary.
Well, I mean, did the city exist before the Manhattan Project, or did the
It
Manhattan
had little
Project
townships.
create
And then
the city of
basically,
Oak Ridge?
yeah, they had townships, farming lands and all this, and then the government decided to basically buy people's land, push them off the land, and create this base, this secret base.
Wow.
So here in Knoxville, our history goes back to late 1700s when we settled here. So it's different when you're dealing with history that is well over 100 years versus something that is more recent. So I have to make sure that I'm, you know, doing it in a very respectful and loving way, and to understand that, you know, I'm not saying it's haunted in a disrespectful way, but there is a potential that it could be haunted there. So I'm going to get on they have a circular magazine around Oak Ridge that goes around to neighborhoods, and I'm going to have the front page right in front of the Alexander Inn with a flashlight and stuff like this, right on the front page of that. And it's going to talk about how Oak Ridge is looking into working with me.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. So nothing's going on. Nothing is going on. I have a very boring life.
I can tell. So, have you visited Chattanooga or Johnson City or some of our other cities around East Tennessee?
For the purpose of?
Investigating paranormal activity, or Asheville?
Well, I just came back from what I call my Southwestern paranormal adventure tour, and basically I went to Arizona, and I was able to go to Tombstone. I was able to go to Vulture City, which is a ghost town where they had the gold mines and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really tragic. And just a lot of different places. I got to go to the Grand Canyon, got to go to Sedona, all this kind of stuff. So while I was over there, I went and did some taping for my site. So I have a bunch of shows. So I just released yesterday, my first episode of the reboot of the Paranormal Sensation, my podcast, a TV show.
That's exciting. Can't wait to check it out. I'm going to check it out this afternoon.
Yeah, it was the director who did the award-winning documentary at Ramsey House. I sent him a copy, which was like, okay, what is he going to say? And he responded, for limited software and knowledge, he says, you did a pretty good job. I was like, wow, thank you. You know, this is coming from a guy whose documentary we did won a award on an international level.
Oh, wow.
So I'm like, wow. But it did take me a while to edit my first show. Hopefully it'll be easier on my additional shows.
Oh, it always gets easier as you move along. The learning curve. I mean, it's just all about knowledge. When it boils down to it.
So what's going on with you?
Well, I've been doing my robbery report and trying to set up interviews and just kicking, doing my bicycle billboard. Hey, Bob wanted me to take my bicycle billboard and bicycle from city to city interviewing people.
City to city?
Yeah, just random towns along the way. Just stop and interview people random.
Well, that'll give you some good exercise.
That's what I was thinking. I didn't see how I could monetize that, but.
Welcome to the world of business.
Right,
monetizing your work.
Monetizing your work.
I've been fortunate with my tours.
Yes, you have. Yeah, you've done very well. So how many years now have you been doing this? I mean, it feels like you've become an institution.
A legacy.
A legacy. Ooh. So how many years has it been now?
We're in our 8th year.
Oh my gosh.
Can you believe that? 8 years. We're actually celebrating our 8th year in business and offering a $10 off on all of our events, all of our tours, doesn't matter which one you get. And it's instant online. It's just a kind of celebration of saying, oh my gosh, I've made it.
Okay, so now downtown, I see you gather everybody together in Market Square.
Depends on the event.
Well, let's talk about one. Let's
One.
talk about one.
Which one do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the one that starts at Market Square.
Okay, we'll talk
So,
about that.
let's talk about that. So everybody, I see you gather, everybody together in Market Square, and then you kind of head out towards Crutch Park.
Okay, that direction, yes.
Yeah, and then you keep going on around till you get to the statue with the boy in the boat, the rowboat. And I see everybody always gathered around
So you're
that
trying to give
spot.
away my locations on my tour?
No,
Is
no,
that
I'm
what
not trying to
you're
give
doing?
away. It's just one tour I want to talk about that I've been stalking for the last 5 years.
What he's talking about is my famed Market District tour. That is our flagship. That's where we started. And basically I created a tour that lasts about 2.5 hours. And it stops at multiple ground zeros, which is basically a location where history says something tragic happened. And then after I give you a ghost hunting 101. So basically I found out my first year, just because I put a cool device in your hand, it doesn't mean you know how to use it. So I was like, okay, I gotta really pull it all together. So within a 2.5 hour period, I get to train you, get equipment in your hand, take you to multiple ground zeros, and we investigate about 10 to 15 minutes at each one of our locations. One is a graveyard that has reason to be even more haunted than the Holy Grave.
Really? I didn't know there was another graveyard in
Ah,
town.
it's hidden, secret.
Downtown?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We'll have to leave him on that one.
Okay.
He's gonna be going around town trying to find
Coming
out
on
where
your
this
tour.
graveyard is.
I'm coming on your tour. It's gonna happen.
But I think that's what makes my events so unique, is that I don't offer one activity. I offer multiple activities. Opportunities for you to come back. I've got people who've been on all my events. They go on one, they're like, oh my God, that was cool. I want to go on this one, learn new history and new place to investigate. And I have people who come back year after year. They're like, it was awesome. I come every year at this time or whatever to explore. I got people who come on their birthdays or anniversaries,
Right.
or even bridal parties.
Wow.
So, you know, I have sororities that have reserved the entire sorority at University of Tennessee. That was a tough one. I think I had over 100 girls that had to go over multiple events.
100 people on your tour? Wow.
Yeah, so I
that's
had
amazing.
to break them up. So we had like the upperclassmen, and then we had some of the newer ones and all that kind of
Now,
stuff.
where did Eloise go? I saw Eloise, and then all of a sudden Eloise just kind of disappeared.
Eloise is, that's the purple hearse that I've had. That was the legacy again of my tours in downtown Knoxville. You probably have seen the purple hearse with the green slime on the side. Well, we've rebranded ourselves due to the change in the parking and all that kind of stuff downtown.
Right, yeah,
We
it has
found
gotten
that-
a lot more dynamic down there.
that it's been very
A lot more
challenging.
dynamic.
Yes, a lot more. So it came to a point that I wasn't driving her. It was more for promotional, yet I wasn't able to use it for promotion. So I decided to go ahead and,
Just let it go.
yes, but I gave her to a horror artist out of Asheville, North Carolina. So we worked out a deal.
Okay.
And part of the reason why we have a brand new art theme right now, whole new branding. Instead of calling us this Haunted Knoxville Ghost Tours with our standard logo, we're actually Paranormal Adventure Tours,
Paranormal Adventure
presented
Tours.
by Haunted Knoxville Ghost Tours. So you'll see our new logos, it's got orange in it, it's got the sun sphere with a skull in the face of it. Super, super cool. And he's the guy who did the work for it. So we worked
Oh,
out
cool.
a deal that he was going to do artwork along with some money that he fundraised for it and all this. And you see some amazing, the cartoon with the 3 heads, the 3 characters,
Yeah.
infamous characters, he did that one as well. He did my picture of me that's on my Nightmare on the Tracks and Great Fire Investigation posters and all this as well. He's got I look like I should be in Scooby-Doo. Because he created like a caricature of me, you know, looking like I do with the flashlight and all this kind of stuff. So it's really neat. So make sure you check out our Facebook page, which is Haunted Knoxville Ghost Tours, or go to our website, hauntedknoxville.net. You can see some of our new branding there.
That's exciting. I can't wait to see it. So I had a couple of questions, like, of some of the encounters you've had
Yes.
with spirits, have you met anyone that you know? Like,
I came across a spirit of someone that died. Is that what you're asking?
yeah, that you know, like your close loved one of your own. I mean, I know you've helped a lot of other people connect with those, but have you had the chance to reconnect with your spiritual gift on some of those levels? It seems like it would be really tough. If I ask you tough questions.
To a point, yes. To a point, yes. I mean, I'm also a holistic healing practitioner. I am Knox Healing. So on top of everything else that we've been talking about, I also do energy healing, spiritual counseling. I do angelic spiritual counseling. So I bring angels in all this. So I dealt with people in my life, and I think that's important for most people when I do holistic healing and stuff, and spiritual warfare, teaching people how to protect their homes and all that kind of stuff. There's so many different aspects to it, but I do believe our loved ones do come back to us, or sometimes they never leave us because of some unfinished business or some issues going on it. So I've had to interact with spirits that may have been with me my whole life that I had to basically release and say goodbye. If you're haunted regularly by spirits, I would say that that's an opportunity that you need some healing, something needs to change. I don't believe that we should be haunted by any spirits. If there are spirits that are with us all the time, there's an issue at that point. Either you won't let them go or they won't move on. And I think it's important for that to be healed, whether it's a family member or whatever.
Well, this afternoon, I'd love to invite you over to the house and just chill out and have a cup of tea or something. But I had my roommate passed away, and I found him in the house.
Okay.
And he'd already crossed over. He was fine that day at noon. You know, we chit-chatted like normal. He was my roommate. And then I came back at 10, and he was gone.
Sorry to hear that.
You know, tragic reasons that I don't want to go into in public, but I feel his presence there sometimes.
Okay.
You know, and I think it was trauma. I think it's very traumatic for him. And I mean, if you're up for it, would you like to come over and have some tea today and maybe do some ghost hunting at my house?
Very possible, very possible.
Okay.
Understand that if you have a loved one that is with you, they might be a loved one, they might be your grandma, they might be this, they might be that, someone that you've had. Understand if they're still present in your life and have not moved on, it's definitely an opportunity that you need to reach out and figure out what's going on and see if you could maybe just go and say, Grandma, I know you're here with me and I want to let you know I am fine. Everything is fine. You don't need to stay here because of me. You can move on. Let the spirits know that they can move on, because if you're holding on to Grandma because you loved her so much and you don't want her to leave, you're being selfish at that point. Ultimately, we need to be able to let our loved ones move on, let the spirits move on, and not be keeping them at this place. It's not a comfortable place. I wouldn't want to be walking around here.
So the Earth theme is, you know, you come, you stay, you hang out, enjoy, get on.
Exactly.
Move
This is
on to
a
the next
temporary
stage.
experience, and we don't need to be pulled here and kept here and locked here. I'm looking forward to the point that I'm ready to move on to my next life.
So sorry, like getting stuck in a video game. You know, you're sitting there playing Assassin's
Or
Creed.
even worse, Groundhog's Day.
That's a good one.
Oh my, well, or, you know, just think about it. I mean,
You wake up the same day over and over and over again. That would be tragic.
Exactly. You know, and even if you have issues with a person and you're like, when I die, I'm going to haunt them. It's like, are you sure you want to do that? Because, yeah, you might think like you're going to get them back, but it's going to really stink walking around here by yourself and majority of the population not even recognizing you around. That's why, again, October does so well, is the spirits are like, oh, wow, they know I'm here. They recognize me. Oh, they're scared, so I can let them know that my presence is here.
That's cool.
That's what it's all about.
Well, Jay, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on to the Robbery Report
Well, thanks for having me.
and being a part of the show and sharing this awesome Halloween time.
Heck yeah,
Fun
come
stuff.
and visit Haunted Knoxville Ghost Tours. Have your experience with us, and also if you're into learning about protection and spiritual stuff as well, Knox Healing, or if you want violin lessons, my goodness, I do it all right here.
So where is your office so I can come by?
Off of Callahan Road, I'll give you the address.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you.
Love you, man. Well, family, that's the Robbery Report for today with our guest, Jay Adam. And it took me years to get that, by the way. I always put an S at the end of his name. But So this is the first episode and one of many. We've got some future guests coming on to the show, some mystery guests that I can't talk about that I'm excited about bringing on. And I want to just invite everybody to keep coming back. So we're going to build community one voice at a time.
You tell me that I'm episode 1. Wow.
Yeah.
This is where everyone starts.
Yeah.
This is going to be great.
It's episode 1.